Hey, it's Coach Reese. Today we're going to work with some half-life problems. Alright, so you're going to get a new formula, but it's not that tough. You know how to move things around and solve for different variables in your formulas. So let's just get this going. Alright, so in T, into the T, this is going to start as your final amount. Into the O subscript O, that's going to give you your initial amount, okay? T is going to stand for time. H is going to stand for your half-life value. The 1/2 will be consistent. It'll be constant in all your problems, okay? So let's set it up. The hard part is setting up the equation. This got too far. All right, sodium 24. They're talking about elements. That number next to the element will never ever be used in a problem. So this 24 will never be used in the problem. But sodium 24 has a half-life of 15 hours. How much sodium 24 will remain in an 18-gram sample after 60 hours? So they're going to ask you to find the final amount. They're going to ask you how much is remaining after we start, okay? So we're going to find the final amount. We're going to solve for n to the subscript t equals. We have an 18-gram sample to start with. The 1/2 is constant in every problem. My time, it says my time is 60. My half-life, it says it has a half-life of 15 hours. Now you could just put it in the calculator as you see it, or if you wanted to say 60 divided by 15 is 4, and put a 4 there, that would be fine. But we're going to go to our calculator, okay? And we're going to say 18 times. Now you can convert 1/2 to 0.5 if it's faster and easier for you to put it into your calculator. You can say 0.5, and then we're going to raise the power. And if you wanted to, we could say 60 divided by 15, or you could just say 4, which I would probably say 4. And you hit enter. And you're going to get an answer of 1.125. It says how much will remain, and you would say 1.125 grams. It's that simple. Now, always in the last two problems when we're solving for the final amount, that was our favorite one. It's the easiest one. Okay? Let's try another example. It says after 42 days, a 2-gram sample of phosphorus 32 contains only 0.25 grams of the isotope. What is the half-life? So now they're going to ask you to find the half-life. We're going to solve for H. So in my formula it says we have a 2-gram sample, 1/2. It says time. We're looking for time. Time is 42 days. I do not know what my half-life is. That's what I'm going to try to solve for. And we're going to have 0.25 at the end when it remains. There's the setup. Your initial sample is 2 grams. The 1/2, your time is 42 days. Half-life, final amount left is 0.25. Now, remember all these problems that we're trying to solve, we've asked you to isolate the exponential part. So what we're going to ask you to do is we're going to ask you to get this by itself. So we're going to ask you to divide by 2, divide by 2. This will cancel. You can put this in your calculator. 0.25 divided by 2. 0.25 divided by 2, enter, and you get 0.125. So we're going to get 0.125 equals, instead of going 1/2, I'm going to convert that to 0.5. 0.5 raised to the 42 over H. Now, we're going to ask you to convert this to a log problem. That way we can solve for that variable that's an exponent. So we're going to say the base will stay the base. log base 0.5. Instead of being paired with the fraction, we're going to be paired with the 0.125. And that's going to equal 42 over h. So let's put this in our calculator and find out what that is. Okay? So we're going to say control log 0.5 of 0.125. We're going to hit enter. And we get the number 3. Oops. Wrong. So this is going to give us 3 equals 42 over h. That may bother you, but what if I did this? What if I made it look like something you've done a ton of? You've done a bunch of these. What if we set that up as a proportion? You've all solved a proportion. So we could cross multiply. We could say 1 times 42. 1 times 42 is 42. 42 divided by 3. What we're going to ask you to do is solve it like a proportion and just cross multiply and get 42. You can cross multiply again if you need to, but you really need to divide by 3. And 42 divided by 3 is 14. So the half-life will be 14, meaning 14 days. Your half-life will be 14 days. Not that tough, okay? Same old stuff. We used a log, or we converted to log to solve for an exponent that was a variable, okay? One more. Polonium-214 has a relatively short half-life of 164 seconds. How many seconds would it take? Uh-oh, they're looking for time. How many seconds would it take for 8 grams of this isotope to decay to 0.25 grams? Okay, so our initial amount, 8 grams. Use your 1/2 that's in the equation. It says the time, I don't know what the time is. That's the one thing we don't know. But it says it has a half-life of 164. And when it's all done, 0.25 grams will remain. So just like the last problem, we're going to try to isolate the exponential part. So we're going to ask you to divide by 8. Divide by 8. That will cancel. We're going to go 0.25 divided by 8. Let's go with this. Sometimes it won't let me use my calculator. 0.25 divided by 8, enter, 0.03125. So this is going to give us 0.03125 equals 1/2. I'm going to convert that to 0.5 raised to the t over 164. Just like last time, we're going to convert this to a log equation. My base will stay on base, so we're going to say log of 0.5. We're now going to be paired with 0.03125. And that's going to equal t over 164. We're going to put this in our calculator. We're going to say log of 0.5 of 0.03125. Control. We're going to go log 0.5, cursor, 0.03125. Enter. And that gives us the number 5. Okay? So we're going to say that 5 equals t over 164. If it bothers you, you can put the 1 underneath the 5. But what we're going to do is we're going to ask you to go times 164 times 164. This will cancel 164 times 5. So we're going to go to the calculator and we'll say 164 times 5, enter, and I get 820. So my answer is going to be 820, but our unit, make sure you understand, is seconds. 820 seconds. All right, a couple of things I'm going to tell you. If we work a problem and they don't give you a specific starting amount, like in this problem, we started with 8 grams. But then if they don't specify what amount to start with, then you will start with 1 gram, 1 ounce, 1 something. But make you have a unit of 1 for your starting amount if they don't specify a starting amount. The next thing I'm going to ask you to do is pay attention to your units of time, because there might come a problem where you may have to convert some time. All right? You've had a lot of practice. All right? This is not the first time we've solved equations and tried to isolate a variable. You've done a bunch. You should be fine. If you get stuck, just email us or show up in the Zoom and let us help you. Good luck.